Greetings YouTube and welcome back to my channel. It is a beautiful sunny morning here in Quentin, France. I've got about 3 countries worth of dead bugs on the visor of this helmet and I don't want to move. Anyway, there is a ferry with my name on it and we've got to get our skates on. Let's have it. There is always so much gear to lug around.
This waterproof bag is brilliant, but it gets absolutely filthy rubbing against the panniers. So yeah, it gets absolutely filthy rubbing against the aluminium panniers, which all ended up all over my arms yesterday. It took forever to get off. Anyway, that place served me very well. Apparently sofa beds are very comfortable and I slept really well, which is good. The bike is still here, that's always a good sign. I've had a few people ask me whether I get lonely when I'm touring, and the answer is no, really. I really miss my loved ones back home, and being in contact with them all the time helps to stop me get lonely. But also talking to you guys all the time. You are, there's a lot of traffic. You are my travelling companions on this trip. I'm sharing every moment with you pretty much, even sharing the horrible yucky damp smell coming off this towel with you, because it's damp. No, sharing everything with you and talking to the camera, talking to you guys all the time also stops me being lonely. It's like I've got a whole bunch of friends with me on tour. Obviously I'm looking forward to the next big tour, which is the Black Forest with my son Ben, and it will be his first tour on a motorcycle, so that's going to be quite special. I'm looking forward to that one a lot. It is a beautiful morning. It's supposed to get up to 25 degrees here in France today. This is very, very different to my usual riding through 8 degrees and absolutely hammering down with rain. So what a treat to finish this tour in the sunshine. Right, there is a boat with my name on it. Time to get going. Right, the Nav 6 knows where Calais is, but but it doesn't believe me when I try to tell it that there is a port or a car ferry or anything like that. Google Maps believes me. Anyway, I'm just going to use the Nav 6 to get me to Calais. They agree on the same sort of time, and then I'll just follow the signs for the car ferry. It's well signposted, and if for any reason I struggle, I'll just bring on Google Maps. It's all good. I'm going to use the motorways and the tolls because I just need to get there now, but I do need to find breakfast en route, which will probably be a service station, I believe, and it'll be the typical croissant and cappuccino, as has been for this trip. Alright, let's go on. There we have it, Calais is on the sign. This is the final push home. What a trip it has been though, what a trip. Maybe this is the last péage of the trip. Chances are there'll be more. Take the ticket. I do like that little tank compartment. I don't like tank bags particularly because I find them quite bulky and in the way, and I have to look down at them too much. So that little compartment there for things like the credit card and the tickets for the péage, perfect. There is obviously no such thing, I imagine, as a perfect motorcycle. They all have their flaws somewhere, but for me this is about as perfect as it gets, I think. Maybe with a quick shifter fitted, I don't know. Right, let's get some miles under our belt. It's not raining, yes! I can tell I'm getting closer to Calais because there's more and more UK plated cars and vans. Everybody returning home after their own adventures. Right, time to stop for the last continental breakfast of this trip. I don't need any fuel. The last time I fueled up was enough to get me home, but it's time for coffee, a final pain au chocolat or something. I'm not used to this riding on a motorway in France in the sunshine. I've got to say, I approve. I will be glad to get home, but I will also be sad to no longer be doing this kind of thing as well. So the final pain au chocolat and coffee on the road before I get home. So as I mentioned, the next big trip for me is a tour of the Black Forest with my son Ben. We previously toured the Wild Atlantic Way in Ireland, but he was driving his old Land Rover Defender. He didn't have a bike license at that point, and he didn't want to go pillion with me. He wanted to drive his own vehicle, and we had a fab time. Check out the series if you haven't already. And since then he's passed his bike test. He's got himself a Triumph Tiger 660, and he's up for his very first bike tour, so really looking forward to that. In between this episode and that series starting, there's going to be a few closer to home episodes. I'm going to do some bike reviews. I'm particularly keen to get my hands on a CRF 300 after not managing to do so in Malta, and I also am going to do some gear reviews. I'll probably do a review of all my riding gear, which to be fair is all fairly budget, and I can tell you how it works in the real world for sure. All completely unbiased because I have no connection with any of these companies at all that I'm using. I will also do a review of my camping gear video and some costings on tour in Europe, comparing that to Morocco. What I also fancy doing, and maybe you guys can help me out here, I don't know, I fancy getting my hands on an old dual sport bike, particularly something like an XL600R, an old knackered one from the 70s, and restoring it. and doing that over a series of many videos that will come out not weekly but just as and when I'm getting round to doing it, because it would be quite a project for me. So something like an XL600 or the Dakar version, or an old XT500 would be fab, or I don't know, a DT175, or even something like a DT125LC from the early 80s or something, mid 80s. Any of those bikes would appeal to me a lot, and I'd restore it, show you every single video of the progress, and then use it as well, not for tours like this, but just for some green laning and stuff like that. So if anybody knows or of any of those bikes that are lying around in a shed or a garage, and would want to sell it to me, then hit me up, message me, and that would be fab. I will be really keen to have a go at that. Anyway, I'm going to have this breakfast and then get myself to Calais and get on that boat. Okay, the last time of this tour, leaving a surface station on the motorway. Actually feel a bit sad. When it's absolutely chucking it down, I don't feel sad. I just want to get back to Calais as soon as possible. But that's not the case today. It's a nice day to be on the bike. 22 degrees. Hopefully the other side of the channel, when I get back to the UK, back to Dover, it's just as pleasant. Keep my fingers crossed. Calais Port car ferry. Follow the sign, Steve. I'm well early arriving, but that's okay. Hopefully they'll offer me an earlier boat without having to pay a whole load more. We'll find out. Now, I had an email saying keep to the left-hand lanes for P&O ferries, and I can see that over there. It's promising. Bonjour. Well, I am through the UK border control, not been pulled into customs yet. Heading for lane 1203, which is down here somewhere. Be good to get my passport away actually, if I can do that while I'm going along. Just about, yeah. It's a lot of lanes, isn't it? I gotta say, it seems a slicker process going on the tunnel. Certainly quicker, the actual passage. And here I'm going to be for the next couple of hours almost. I'll just pull up behind this Maserati. Nice. So probably an hour and a half before I get to board. I'm going to have to go and find the loo. I'm going to have some peanuts, I'm going to have some water. But I can also have a little chat now. I've got a chance, a little chat. Comparing this to the last big trip I did. So on the last big trip there were some fairly intense days, you know, 18 hours in the saddle, getting 600 miles done in a day or whatever, because I did just shy of 5,000 miles in 11 days when I did the Sahara Morocco tour. If you haven't checked it out, please do so, because it's quite epic. And this one's been much more relaxed, much more relaxed. It's been 12 days, 3,500 miles, and I don't think I've done a longer riding day than 10 hours, and that was probably the very first day, because I had to set off so early to catch the ferry at Dover for 8:30, something like that. So it's been far less intense, and as a result I've come out of it better the other end, obviously. I'm not so achy, although my left elbow is still a bit tender all these months later, and my left hand with the clutch hurts with my fingers and my thumb joint. It's been okay, my backside survived. My knees get a bit achy after a while, but that fatigue that set in towards the end of the Morocco trip, where I had a bit of a kind of meltdown, maybe, I don't know, sat on a bed somewhere in Spain or France, I don't know, and talked about how painful it was getting, hasn't been the case at all. It's been far more relaxed, and probably a better way of doing it, I would say. And I certainly, with Ben, as it's his first tour on a motorcycle, as a new motorcyclist, we won't be pushing any massive days. It will be fairly relaxed, but we'll still get quite a few miles under our belt, I'm sure, in the time we're away. Anyway, it's now the waiting game. Lunch. Well, it looks like the email I got from P&O saying there'd be nowhere to get a cup of coffee or anything to eat whilst waiting to get on was a fib. There is a cup of coffee with my name on it. Result, I'm being brought forward first. And last time, go down there actually, that's good, fire for treatment. I think it must be a bit early in the season for lots of people to be on bike tour, because I was the only bike coming out, and so far it looks like I'm the only bike going back. It would seem I'm not the only bike then. At least two of us. Two up touring though. Hard work for the pillion. by France and Europe for a while. These are big old boats. Look, electric car charging points. How cool.
We'll park for the car here. We have a lot of cars today.
Bonjour. I think that's nice and secure. It's not going anywhere. I've left it in first. Right, time to get myself up on deck so I can say goodbye to France as we depart. Right, I'm just going to head outside to the sunshine. The doors don't shut on me. It makes such a change to be in sunshine as I leave France. Hope I don't have to go in that at any time ever. Well, my friends, this feels like a suitable place to end today's episode, and in fact the tour from London to Sicily in 12 days was it possible? Yes, it was, and it was epic. I really hope you enjoyed the entire series and this episode. If you did, please give it a like. I really appreciate that, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. It's a bit windy. The captain announced it is windy out there, so it might be a choppy crossing, in which case I could be in trouble. I'm not great at sea. It's not a two-wheeled sailor, it's two-wheeled dreamer. Until the next one, see ya, bye bye.